Good evening, traders. This is the trading plan for 27th of July 2022. Before we move ahead, let me address a critical question which I get a lot about how exactly to play these kind of gaps and how to which side to trade. Is it long or should one wait for a mean reversion trade to form? To be honest, it entirely or majorly depends in the area where we are opening. If we are opening in a location where the imprint or the footprints of sellers is seen in the past, then there is a good chance we can get a mean reversion setup. But as I say, it's not compulsory because those sellers may not be active on the same day we see a gap up opening, could be the next day as well. So whenever we have a major gap opening, and in most of the cases, if it is at a bad location, like for example today, then it is not a wise idea to chase the gap into longs at that point of time. Or it is also not a very good idea to short the markets immediately or aggressively as a directional trader because the trend is to the upside. So how exactly should a trader play those kind of markets? One, they have two options. One, wait for a pullback to the appropriate levels to go long, or if at all they are incredibly skilled, and I'm only talking about those who are skilled here and have experience dealing with such gaps, can attempt to fade the move. And again, when I say attempt to fade the move, it's not shorting futures or buying put options. For example, even if first of all we'll be taking a low probability trade there if we are attempting to fade the move, and on top of it, if at all we go completely directional, then we are in turn reducing our odds of actually playing it out as a profitable trade. So let's say tomorrow is expiry, and if someone wants to sell out of the money calls at an appropriate level, sure, if they know what they are doing, if that is at an appropriate level, a good location with a defined risk where they know when to exit, then that's completely fine. Please understand that not every day, since I get this kind of questions a lot, I'm putting it out. Understand that not every day is a favorable day for a day trader. You cannot expect the same kind of moves. You cannot basically expect the markets to offer you the same kind of moves on a daily basis. We will have our days as day traders, good days where we get beautiful setups in the making to trade, and we will also get days like today where there is not much to do. For example, I only managed a 0.3% return today, and that too after quite a bit of topsy-turvy moves in bank nifty. So we need to accept that, protect our capital, make sure to lose as less as possible, as little as possible, and strike hard when our moment comes. Talking about tomorrow, I see that the largest profit booking and a little bit of selling happened between, in case of nifty, between 16,500 levels, 16,495 500 to 16,540 levels. I would rather prefer index to go above this before I put on any long trade, and I would rather wait for a pullback to this level on a breakout for, I'm sorry, a breakout out of this level before I put on a long trade. As long as we are trading at the place where we are trading right now, inside the band or below the band, there is a good chance that we may see the entire gap being filled at this point of time. Now, if I have to talk about my own trading plan, for example, let's say that we are opening tomorrow somewhere in this location above the band, then this is a good place to go long and keep an eye on order flow at previous day's high and see if continuous buying is coming into the markets or not. And or if at all we start to move lower here, then again, whenever I talk about the gap area, in the entire gap area, it is not wise to form any kind of conclusion whether long or short at that point of time. And there is no rule that states that once index starts coming into a gap, it has to fill in the entire gap totally. No, there is no such rule. That's nothing but a technical analysis myth. There is no hard and fast rule. So if at all we venture into the gap, then as it's expiry tomorrow, option writers can take good advantage of it by selling out of the money calls and also out of the money puts here, beyond these price bands, this triangle basically. Or you can wait as directional players, wait for price to hit this zone and then attempt a long trade here. But taking any kind of trades within this gap, or looking to gauge the bias within this gap is not a wise move. And if I have to look at it from a short-term perspective, as I keep on saying, as I kept on saying since the past few days, we are in a broad-based uptrend. The short-term direction is towards the upside and not to the downside. And even now, you can see that there is no higher positions or sell side positions being formed at the highs. This is nothing but a simple profit booking that happened, and we would need to see tomorrow if at all are we going to take out the consecutive 2-day highs. I basically have a 2-day high rule, or 2-day low rule. Let's see if that rule gets fulfilled tomorrow for us to even come to any conclusion, or else there's nothing much to be done at this point except expiry. The ranges are 16,495 to 16,540, beyond which I look for longs. This is where the maximum profit booking happened today. And to the downside, again, the extreme end of the gap, which is 16,327 to 360, the price band that I'm looking at. Until we break this to the downside, don't expect heavy selling. This area is expected to act as support. You can see that largest volumes are being traded in this zone and they still continue to stay the same. So I wouldn't put much good into the even the daily candle that has formed today. With the bare minimum is to wait for us to gauge the 2-day high or 2-day low, failure of it being taken out. Moving on to Bank Nifty, it's the more or less the same in case of Bank Nifty as well. 36,100 to 36,180 is the reference that I'm looking at to the upside. Above that, I will look to sell puts for tomorrow's expiry. And to the downside, 35,680 to 35,800 is the area that I'm expecting to act as support. Again, between these two price areas, don't try to attempt the direction as directional player. Wait for either a pullback to one of these areas or a breakout or breakdown from them, but don't try to take unnecessary trades in between. I hope this video was useful, guys. If yes, please make sure to like and comment. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.